What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another installment of MetaShift. This week we're going to be going over week 8 and week 9 of the LCS and hopefully going to be giving some insight on the up and coming spring playoffs in terms of picks and bans. Now I would like to say that we're covering the last 2 weeks of the LCS, and with that this would be the last episode for MetaShift for this season. I don't really know what my plan is. I kind of want to do some other videos aside from this, but I think I'm going to come back to this. I really enjoyed the just breaking down stats and doing analytical stuff and just diving into seeing like what the picks and pans were. It was kind of nice to kind of predict the meta in a sense, meta shift, if you will. But I'm not really sure what I'm going to do, but I think I will do a season 2 kind of thing for next season, but we'll see. Anyways, let's dive into it. Let's start with the bans. So this week's ban list is all the champions that you see here, pardon me, are people that were banned over 20 times. Now, the most surprising, in my opinion, was Graves, who was permabanned in week 8, and this is just for a number of reasons. The LeBlanc nerfs came in, you get an additional ban, but the permaban is what kind of caught me off guard because Graves does have great things. He's got great clear. He's a great duelist. Amazing clear, actually, the best clear, pardon me, and high damage output, and he can actually survive with his passive. So it's understandable, but the permaban was a little surprising, in my opinion. Next, we have Camille, Rumble, Shen, kind of the typical, even going down to Rengar and Malzahar, these are all typical. Camille just needs the nerfs. Rumble and Shen are strong top laners right now, or always have been, pardon me. Camille, like, come on, can we nerf this champion? Nerf the E! I don't understand. It doesn't make sense to me. Rengar being probably the second most played jungler at the moment, or banned in this case. And then Malzahar, Caitlyn, and Syndra. And now Caitlyn is a little surprising out of this list, mainly just because she's picked, and banned for her strong laning presence. And if you're going to go someone with a short range in the bot lane, it's going to be difficult to match up against Caitlyn, especially if they have a strong range support where you're just going to get permanently harassed. So this is more to help out with certain matchups in the bot lane. Syndra, of course, press R, kill the ADC. Difficult. And the only other person that I should have put on this list who got banned 19 times was Vladimir, who has been a hot pick for this week. Moving on to the top lane, we have the same old kind of tank top lane champs. With Nautilus being picked the most, then Shen, Rumble, and Maokai. And of course, we have to understand the bans that Shen and Rumble took, so know that they would be played more so than Nautilus if not for the bans. So we've gone over these, and this is just because of their CC, and Rumble has a pretty dominant laning phase against these tank top laners, and goes into a pretty strong late game, making it so that you really have to pick your fights. You can't fight in the jungle. Going against the Rumble ultimate is just too dangerous. So it's a really strong pick, and it's the same for Shen. Shen kind of gives that bot lane dominance, so you really have to be wary about your bot lane circumstance and just be wary at all times. And a lot of people don't like to have to deal with those things, so that's why Shen and Rumble just get banned so often. And then Nautilus has, like we've talked before, the guaranteed CC. Other picks, of course, we got Camille, Renekton, and Gragas. Renekton's pretty cool, like we talked about last week. I actually like the Gragas pick the most because I find Renekton pretty... he's fun because he's got the high damage output kind of laning, but Gragas, I don't know. There's something about Gragas, there's something about the Fat Man that I really enjoy watching. I don't know if it's just like the skill shots and Renekton just pressing W and stunning someone is boring, but I don't know. Something about watching Gragas is a lot of fun, and it's unusual to kind of see him in the top lane. Moving on to the jungle, we have Lee Sin and the Kitty dominating it. And this is just because they have the strong clears. Kha'Zix got nerfed, but to be fair, actually, the jungle is it did pretty well. Like it's pretty balanced right now for what it is, because we've talked about multiple times about how hard it is to balance jungle champions without making others too strong. And I think it's in a pretty good position. And you know what? In my opinion, I actually think the whole meta where it's at actually is in a really good position. This just could be due to progress, and as you progress through patches, you get more and more balanced. but I like where the meta is at right now. I don't think it's that stale. I think you get a lot of different spicy picks, if you will. So I'm kind of happy with it. So anyways, we have Lee Sin and Rengar as their most played, and then Kha'Zix and Gragas, new champ, Gragas. And other than that, we actually have Elise, Rek'Sai, and Olaf. And Elise was played 12 times, so she's actually getting a hefty amount of play too. And so the Fat Man is being played as a tank, kind of being with the CC. If you can combo your E and ultimate, you can get some pretty nice perma CC in. Lee Sin and Rengar. Lee Sin's pretty high skill cap, but especially in high competitive play. But he provides a lot, as we've seen in that NV game where Lero won the game for them with that Orianna kick. And Rengar is just strong right now. We've talked about this. He's been strong since the beginning. I think he could probably do a little bit more nerfs, but I don't know. Not sure. But Olaf emerging, really liking that. Olaf's fun, just running them, hammer the back line. It's always fun to watch, knowing that you can't do anything. That's how I main jungle, make the 80 carries cry. But other than that, Rek'Sai, typical backup jungler, just to farm away. Moving on to the mid lane, we have Orianna, Vlad, Ahri, and Jace being played the most. Now, I know Orianna is shown here as being played a hefty amount, but the mid lane is incredibly balanced right now. It is just in a perfect position. Vlad has come out of hiding these last couple of weeks and has been pretty dominant, as I said, with the 19 bans on him. And this is just because he's got a hefty amount of sustain. He does well in a majority of matchups. And he's a great team fighting champ later on with that ultimate. It's kind of similar to, in the sense of what it provides in Orianna in terms of being able to apply it to the enemies. It's got the circular radius. It's really easy, but it's nowhere near the damage, of course, or game changing in that sense. But his sustain and healing ability is just healing capabilities, are just insane. You really have to obliterate Vladimir instantly, or you're gonna lose the fight. Ahri, been a strong pick, was the dominant mid laning champion before. Now she's toned down a bit, but still a great assassin pick. Jace, your flex kind of pick whenever you need him. And then moving on, I'm just gonna check. We have Cassiopeia was played 6 times, Talon 6 times, Talia 8 times, and Victor 6 times as well. I should note though that Talia pick was half the time it was played by Piglet, and he actually didn't do too well. But I do like the pick. What it can create on the bot lane and top lane in terms of ganks is really, really fun to watch and makes the games a lot more fast-paced. So I really enjoy that pick. Don't like Talon, hate Talon. It's just, I kind of have a bias. Just watching him hop over and parkour over walls and just get away and obliterate people. Oh, somewhat tilting. And other than that, the mid lane, you can see tons of different picks. Even Zed, and who else is there that was picked? Was Fizz picked this week? No, Fizz wasn't picked this week, but it's awesome. You can kind of predict, you can't predict, who you could see in the mid lane. And although Orianna is played a crap ton, it's just because of her team fighting capabilities. Moving on to the ADCs, as it says, we are getting there. We are slowly getting to a point where bot lane is looking pretty good. Ezreal, Caitlyn, and Ashe are the very dominant picks this week, or these last 2 weeks for 8 and 9. And this is just for a variety of reasons that we have discussed before. Caitlyn has the strong ranged presence, especially paired with a strong laning support like Karma. Can really zone out your opponents. Ezreal can farm safely with his Q and goes into a really decent late game once he gets his Manamune going. And Ashe has that pick potential with the ultimate. But the other ADCs, we can't leave them hanging. Varus was played 13 times, Jhin was played 8 times, and Lucian was played 6. And Lucian got some minor buffs, so that's why we're seeing him played. But we got six champs being played here a decent amount. And even then, we actually had Twitch being played. Kalista was played, Kog'Maw was played, and Ziggs was played. So we are seeing some different things in the bot lane, finally, which is, it's taken a while. But we are there. I know these 3 champs are played the most, and as you can see here, very, very often. But at least we are getting some variety. Ending off with the supports, I actually talked about how I thought the supports were the most balanced position out of everywhere. Now that is the complete opposite of the case. I called the Lulu pocket pick being strong with the upcoming buffs, and now she is just too strong. She was played 35 times this week and banned 12 times on top of that. And just all these 4 champions are actually just insanely strong. Karma was picked 20 times, banned 7. Malzahar is on our ban list. He was banned 22 times, picked 10. And Zyra was played 10 times, banned 7. These champs are just the only champs you will see in the bot lane, with the occasional Thresh pick. And so it's gotten a little stale. They're gonna have to probably tone down Lulu. I don't know, because they wanted to pick her up, so they're gonna have to do kind of like half, like nerf half of what they buffed. Karma shields, we've talked about plenty of times, needs nerf. The ultimate on Malzahar needs nerf, and the range dominant on Zyra, I mean, I actually don't think it needs. I don't think she needs that much of a nerf, because like when you have picks like Rengar, you're capable of picking her off really easily. So she's okay. You know, she's just a really strong support right now. But those 3, they're in need of some changes because they're just too strong. Because Lulu is her ultimate is just so good at countering a lot of these ganks. Lee Sin cancels his Q. Rengar cancels the jump animation from ultimate. So she just provides like a lot of this survivability in terms of ganks that are coming towards her lane. So she is a pretty perfect pick. But that's about it, guys. That wraps up our picks for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. I don't actually think, because this patch was played on 7.5, so I would assume that the playoffs are going to be played on 7.6 and not 7.7, because 7.7 actually did have quite a few notable changes. 7.6 just buffed MF, so we might see some misfortune play, but I expect things to be very similar to how this week is played. There was a mastery change, but that was it. I mean, a keystone, pardon me. But I expect things to be played exactly like this, which is okay. I mean, apart from the support position, things are looking pretty good and fun to watch, and everyone are going to be going to the finals, so I'm going to be there with my sign. I don't really know who I'm going to support, as I'm liking quite a few teams, but TSM, P1, probably my top 2. But anyways, that's it. I'll hopefully see you guys for another season next season. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. And until next time, peace.